A little whisper with eyes closed and clasped hands. Teju and I always made our way out the window in our room when it was full moon and stars are in the sky. Even when she left for the university, I continued the ritual that we adapted from watching foreign movies. My dad and mom ate anything that has to do with astronomy, especially praying and wishing to the stars. It is all magic and voodoo, and God hates it, my mom would say whenever we see it on television. Beju and I would share side looks and stifle our giggle because we believe it was not that deep as our parents claimed it was. What did you wish for? Beju asked me the last time we did it before she left. I wish to marry a rich husband. I don't want to stress myself. I just want a soft life. I said with confidence because I believe so much in getting everything I asked for. It has always been from time past. You are not serious. Beju laughed at my wish, though I was quite serious about it. I wish to be a star. I just want to be famous and be like Genevieve Naji, Beju said with all smiles, though we both know our parents would kick against it. 7 years later, and I found myself walking down the aisle with my rich husband, Bemiga. All that I wanted was provided. It was the type of wedding I wished for. I picked almost all the decor for the event and the house, including our honeymoon location. Bemiga made me feel like I was the only one that matters and that my choices are his choices. Your wish is my command, queen. He had always said that even on his last visit home. It has become a slogan and now despise so much. I still remember how my mother dissuaded me from marrying him. She believed all those guys that claims to be realtor or tech bros, just like Bemiga, are fraudsters. I spent so much on my wedding that my mom had to cry to the pastor of our church that I married a ritualist. It was a tug of war on its own. Bemiga was able to clear himself from my dad and the pastor, but my mom still had doubts about him. Bemiga and I had our honeymoon in Paris. It was the longest I've ever been together with Bemiga as a couple. The camera clicks at every beautiful corner we found ourselves. I took pictures of every meal we had for the gram. The room shots were not left out, as every post attracted numerous followers. A lot of hearts and comments ran through my post. All I did was to tag my husband, Bemiga Odeyemi. Every bouquet and gifts were just like the treatment I wished for, and I don't want it to stop. I watched as Romeo and Lily ran about the house, wiggling their tails as they chew on their new toys. Bemiga got it from them from his last trip, and that was about a month ago. I crave for their kind of love. They are inseparable. They are so in love that I noticed since the day Lily set her feet into the house. Romeo has been following her around like the dog he was. Their cuddling made me think what Bemiga was doing at the moment. Teju, your food is ready. Should I dish it? Riskat asked with a tiny eloquent voice. I know too well that not eating will make her starve, so I always tell her to dish my food when she asked. Serve it, Riskat, thank you. Riskat and I have been together since I lost my pregnancy 2 years ago. She is a nurse, and since my husband's pay was good, she decided to do 2 jobs. She will go to work for her shifts and come home afterwards. Do you like your food? Riskat asked. She noticed I was not really into the food. I like the food. It's nice, I said as I forced the one in my mouth down my throat. Do you want to talk? Riskat dropped her spoon and sat down properly, the attitude she gives whenever she wants to pay rapt attention. I am pregnant, I said unexcitedly, even though it was something to be happy about on Riska's side. She was so happy she jumped off the chair to dance. This is good news, Teju. I just can't wait to see the expression on OG's face when you tell him, she said excitedly as she settled down on a chair. She did not seem happy though. Are you okay? Riskat asked. I don't want the baby, I replied. Riskat gave a momentum laughter with her mouth wide open. You do not want the baby, or you are just confused, Riskat asked politely. I wish to have everything at my command, and there I have it. All I wanted, I get with the premium card Bemiga gave me as a gift after our honeymoon. This is for you, Bemiga smiled as he gave me the envelope. What is it? Check for yourself. That was the first time I set my eyes on a premium debit card. The card seems not to have ever run short of funds. There was a particular day I spent so recklessly just to make the card dry and make my husband come home. He never called, and neither did the card run out of funds. Memiga might be cheating on me. What made you think that? Is it not obvious, Riskat? Seriously? I just think OG is busy. But you can always sit him down and iron things out. He is never home. I know if he hears about the pregnancy results, he will come home. And that is the reason I do not want the baby. I want Mimiga to want me before anything. But he wants you. It is easy for you to say, Riskat. Teju, I still insist you speak to him. It is true he's never home. But I think this is the proper time for you to call him home and sit him down. I chuckled as I fumbled with my fork. All I could think of was who Bemiga was before our marriage. We met at a friend's party in Abuja. I remember the scenario so clearly. How this tall, black and handsome man shone his white teeth as he kissed my hand to ask for a dance. Paying no attention to my boyfriend, Larry, who declined for me almost immediately. Excuse me, I am Animoshi Larry. I am a boyfriend. If you don't mind, get yourself another girl from the crowd. He just stood there, frozen for a few seconds, ajar. I am sorry, Mr. Larry. I did not know you were together. But I can assuage on you. Let's be friends. Of course, only a dim witch would not know that Gbemiga sat on that table just to talk to me. I was not moved, not until he introduced himself as Gbemiga Odejimi. My eyes widened immediately. Is this some sort of joke or something? I looked at him just to be sure it is the same OJ that I know, the crypto lord, the most sought after relator. Larry noticed the switch and quickly faked a cough. Yes, it's me. The boy is my good friend, so I decided to check for the party. I am not the party type. The look on his face screamed, I want you, and I loved the attention I was getting. Gbemiga and I spoke all through the party, leaving Larry out of every conversation. At a point, Larry started stepping on my toe and nudging me to slow down, that I was talking too much. Larry was a man of little words. I love talking, and meeting Gbemiga on that day gave me another light about me. Larry was giving me subtle looks as I conversed with Gbemiga. It was until Larry stood up angrily and left the hall that we stopped talking. Here is my card. I would love to see you again soon. Gbemiga pressed the card into my hand, making me feel his warm, comfy palms. His meeting deodorant filled me with a sense of feel for him, and coming closer to whisper in my ears, I am glad you are not married. Let's see how things go. I was greedy to have the best I could get, and Gbemiga was the best thing at that moment. The constant flowers and gifts, dinner night out, the staycation and touring. I thought we would remain the way we started off, always wanting to discover what is new and up on it. The pictures are evidence of those memories. Whiskers looked back at the shelf that held a wooden frame. I wished for this, and here I have it. Teju, please, you should talk to Bemiga and express your pain and thoughts to him. I now wish to have Bemiga around. My ego wouldn't let me. I waited patiently for the full moon to come and make a wish with more defined details. I stood by the window, my stomach protruding, a testimony of how far I've gone and how close the little being is to the hurt. I smiled at its every move and kick. It was an experience I have never had in my life. The previous never waited that long. I was so happy I had to name it from the womb as Durotimi, meaning stay with me. I rubbed my stomach with a smile as I gazed at the stars in the sky. For a moment, I thanked my star for always aligning with my heartfelt desires. I clasped my hand and made a gentle whisper, and this time, not just a phrase or a wish. I took more than enough time. After a long moment of making wishes, my phone rang to reveal my sister's name. It was not Peju who spoke, it was her maid, Nancy. "Hello, ma," she said with a shaky voice that made me feel something bad had happened. "Hello, where is Peju?" I asked gently, drenched in fear and heavy heart. "Madam Peju is dead, oh. The doctor said she's dead, oh," Nancy cried. Who is dead?" I asked, stammering with tears. "It is Madam Peju, ma," Nancy cried as I dropped the phone and shouted out in pain. Ristat came into the room almost immediately. She held me up into the car as I groaned in pain. I couldn't talk as my hands became heavy all of a sudden. Dizziness fell upon me, and all I could do was gasp for strength to keep them open. Teju, you have to stay with me, please." Riskat's voice faded in my ears. Her tiny, sweet, melodious voice was tinged with fear of losing me. A tragedy I never wished for. Now I have nothing left than myself and Riskat, whose days are almost close to be wed. I talked with my friend about needing a nurse to take over when I leave. She promised to get back to me as soon as possible. Riskat had said few months earlier when her family had picked a date for our wedding. I still stood my ground not to call Gbemiga home. I told him everything was fine, even during the time of peril, the death of Peju and the demise of my 8-month-old fetus. I do not need the pity of a man who cared less about me but his job. That would have been better if it was just job. But maybe I was bound to be victim of tragedy. I got a package few days after I decided to go for therapy. The pain was too much to handle, but another came knocking at the door. I was still on phone with Rishkat, who had left few months earlier to her husband's house. "I just got a fancy package. I wonder who sent it," I said on phone as Rishkat screamed with joy that Gbemiga will soon be back home. I cut the rope loose just to see a photograph of Gbemiga and a white woman with children. I stood still before laughing at my own misfortune. I will forever hate the stars and the moon for bringing this misfortune on me. I have been a mistress all along. I was the other woman in Gbemiga's game of chess. I laughed so hard my head hurts, and tears rolled down my eyes as I faced the giant frame on the wall. It was a collage of our wedding pictures. "Babe, I am home," Gbemiga said with a bright smile I have always longed for. I held on to him so tightly before telling him all my misfortunes, except his family frame. Some secrets are best hidden, never to be heard. All I pray for is to have my own children with Gbemiga, even as the other woman. The scandals of Gbemiga's marriage didn't move me. My dad and my mom had held their peace, leaving me to my mistakes and its consequences. I watched the blooming new life rising through my stomach and decided to name it after the god my mom believes Jesu Amuduro. Jesus will make it stay. And indeed, it stayed. And so was the nest. Their voices I prayed to always hear and never to wish again.